Here at the 2013 Tour de France, I'm here with Mick Rogers from Saxo Tinkoff. And Mick, this year started off a fantastic race or form for yourself leading into the Tour de France. Mm-hmm. How would you compare your fitness now to what you've seen in previous years leading up to the Tour?
Well, it's always hard to compare, years against years. I'm sure you know just as well as I do that, from past experience, because there's so many different circumstances. But if you look at it results-wise, I think I'm certainly around the mark. Certainly last year I was second at Dauphiné. This year I was third up until the last day and just dropped back a couple of positions, unfortunately, on that last day. But I think certainly I'm, certainly around the mark where I was last year.
Well, if you can't gauge by the fitness level, confidence level, because you've been doing a ton of work for Alberto Contador, your form is great, as it has been the last 2 years. Your confidence leading into this year's Tour?
Confidence is good, certainly when you've got a leader such as, as Alberto, and similarly to what I had last year with Bradley. It's always nice to know that, if you put in, that work at the right time, that there's a high probability that you'll be repaid, with great results. So that with the confidence, that certainly, is a nice feeling to have, and I think it brings the best out of you when you know that you got someone at the end of the day who's going to be, have a good chance of, stepping onto the highest place on the podium.
No, exactly. And you mentioned, you've been a leader for yourself at the Tour. You've worked for Bradley Wiggins. Now you've been working for Alberto Contador. What's the difference between working between being a leader yourself and working between these two captains?
First and foremost, are two very different riders. Bradley, very calculated in everything, what he does. There's always a reason behind, a calculation that went on behind, and he knew his limit in any one moment. Alberto, I think, races, uses his emotions to and passion to his advantage, and there's a lot of riders like that run off complete emotion, and everyone has their own way of doing.
Are you an emotional one or a calculating one yourself?
Depends. I stay to try. I try to stay calculated, but emotions are powerful things and get the better of you sometimes.
Well, at this year's, if you look over the 3 weeks and you had to break it down, give me 2 danger points.
I think I like the Tour when it obviously start with the Alps. Sorry, with the Pyrenees, and then the later part is in the Alps. That last week is tough, if you look at the stages, you're getting in between 3,000 and 4,000 metres of vertical climbing every day. It's just going to be hard. It's just going to be hard. The time trials, I think, are tough. Like every year in the Tour, that second last day is particularly, 120 kilometres, roughly about 4,000 metres of climbing. It's hard to pick out any one day. Or any particular day, and I think it's going to be a battle right to the end.
So you have 3 weeks of stress coming up.
3, we'll get these ones on the island out of the way first. Stage 1, stage 2. I think are relatively simple. That third day is going to be very stressful with a lot of up and down, left and right, small roads. But like any Tour, it's the riders that make the race. It's not really the course.
Good luck.
Thanks.